Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tiny Studio Big Ideas podcast. My name is Vita Evenson, and in this little tiny studio on this tiny Greek island, I like to talk about anything creative, all things dealing with creativity. And today I'm going to kind of meander through some ideas that I have about our emotional state and our creativity. And I'm going to clarify from the beginning that I have no set answers. I have no official proof. The things that I will be discussing basically are from my own personal journey. And I thought I would just put it out there to see if it touches any of you in a positive way. And if so, great. If not, that's all right as well. So I just needed to clarify that from the beginning. I came across a few years ago the idea of the emotional frequency chart. The emotional frequency, if you're in a state of shame, that frequency is much slower and heavier, uh, even though heavy doesn't really fit with an emotional frequency wave, but you understand what I mean. And working on upwards into the areas of love, joy, contentment, authenticity, and what that might mean. As I was thinking about this emotional frequency chart, and let me show you one. Okay. So for those of you who are listening, you won't be able to see this, but you can go online and look at just Google emotional frequency chart, and you will come up with a ton of images. This one is from Vivian Osal, or Osal, Osal. She is a life coach. I have no affiliation with her, but this emotional frequency chart works well for the purposes of what I am talking about. So, you have this. I always talk about creativity that flows through us and comes down and must be limited in order for us to use that dynamic energy to something that's beyond what we can normally grasp onto. There's no control over it. So we need to limit it down so that we can use it here on this earth, or, in whatever state of mind that we are in, to create painting or to do anything, in fact. So it's a process of coming together, of contracting. And this little chart here, this diagram works quite well for me because it is in tune with how I feel while I'm painting, when I'm working with my creativity. So thinking about this emotional frequency, these emotional frequency levels within me, I studied it and thought about it, working with what I was feeling at the moment, and how valid it was, the emotion that I was having to the result of what I was doing or not doing. and just kind of gauging myself and following myself as I was going through this time of learning about the emotional frequency chart. There are a couple different depictions of this emotional frequency chart. Excuse my bumbling, but I'm not stuck on the right one. What I'm trying to get at here is a very, very elemental idea for us daily folks who are out living their lives and just want to have a deeper understanding about how they work. So I found that I may be in a state of, let's say apathy or fear. Fear is a good one. Uh, we're all there. We all have uh, moments of fear, or we are usually our ego, as far as I can understand, is kind of based in that fear frequency. And so it's a pretty common one, and we all know it. So I kind of found that when I was slipping into those states, those more contracted and constricted states, uh, that I may be there feeling the fear and maybe even getting overwhelmed by the thoughts of this, potential fear or whatever was going on. And yet, at the same time, I could also look upwards and know, even though it wasn't expressing itself within me at the time, that uh, all the other higher frequencies were also there within me. And that got me to, like, pulling away, becoming the fly on the wall, and watching the emotion that I was having. I'm on the wall and I'm watching Vita, and Vita is going through this fear state or going through shame. And also knowing that if Vita wants to, all she needs to do is raise her vibration up higher, even by just looking up, will tend to raise the vibration for of whatever you're feeling, and just kind of pull you out of fear, right? Or shame, and, maybe moving towards neutrality. Okay. To me, it's a heck of a lot better to have a feeling of neutrality, of being just steady, than being lost in fear, guilt, shame. It just feels better for me. And I am, as my dad used to say, a cockeyed optimist. And I am. I tend to see most things in an optimistic way, that there's got to be something good on the other side of this. So even when I am in that state, um, there is this tendency for me to want to look upwards, to get up to a higher frequency. Now, at the same time, when I am in a state of love or acceptance or willingness, any of those higher levels, joy, I also know that fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame, courage, pride, all those different levels are also there. It's not that they disappear and I'm one or the other. In my mind, I am all of them at the same time, but I am choosing to focus on one level. Okay. So that's kind of my take on this emotional frequency thing. Uh, and let me get back to, and so I wanted to bring that idea into creativity. What does it have to do with your creativity or the time that you spend in your creative act? Obviously, when you're in a state of fear or shame or guilt or those lower frequencies, you can still paint. Obviously, people do. And there has been some very dynamic artwork that expresses these emotions, and they're captivating in many ways. And so obviously it's not you have to be, oh, life is wonderful in order to come in and paint or to do your creative act. So I'm not sure how uh, to work with that, because I know it's everything at the same time. It's the same thing. Like, I am a creative being, and when my creativity is flowing in me, I get to choose how I want to react with that creative flow. I can react with it on a low frequency in anger or guilt or shame, or I can raise it up to kind of a neutral whatever, or I can raise it up even more and be intimately engaged with that creative flow. So if you ask me, I much personally would rather be in that intimate creative flow, to feel connected, to feel present, to feel that calm, to feel that love flowing through me. And that is it's my daily practice. It's really uh, uh, everything that I do is somehow connected uh, to this um, to this way of being. So, for example, if I get in an argument with my partner, and back in the day, if I got in an argument with him, it would just plunge me down into shame or guilt or anger or all of it. And I'd be stuck there for days. I mean, literally days stuck there. And just always, feeling this negative tension happening within me. And now that I'm older, really, did I really need to do that? But for whatever reason, these last few years, from 55 up until, I'm 59 now. So in the last few years, I have really moved into this understanding of creativity and how it works through me. And I love this emotional frequency chart. Um, I love the wavelengths that they change depending on the frequency that you're at. And personally, I believe it. I haven't got proof that it's out there, but I know that there are a lot of studies going on. Um, the Heart Institute, not the Heart Institute. I'm gonna look that up and put it in the description. I think it was probably the first place that I heard about it, that they were studying uh, these frequency rates and seeing how they affect people emotionally. So I'll look into it. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. If anybody knows, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And so when I come in here, I'm always working to be on the neutral level and up. And uh, it's it's been a process, but it's like that laughing therapy thing, right? If you fake laugh for a minute, by the time the minute is up, you will be cracking up honestly, authentically, and beautifully. And uh, uh, I think it's the same thing that when you choose to cultivate from, the higher levels and up, then that will become the experience of our lives. So, being someone who was really lost in those lower frequencies, and I would just kind of like dive in and come up and then dive in again and come up, and had no real control over what was going on in my emotional level. And I don't know how much of that had to do with the menstrual cycle and, hormones and things like that, my diet, all sorts of things contribute to our emotional stability. But just coming to understand how it works really, really helped me uh, begin to focus. So, like, I pulled myself out of my own head, like the fly on the wall, fly on the wall, and began watching myself. What triggered a dive? Uh, And when I was diving down there into those levels, what were the ways that I could get out? Just realizing that I had the choice to focus on the lower levels, on those lower frequencies, or raise my gaze up to those higher frequencies was enough for me to begin to cultivate a daily practice of keeping myself optimistic and raised up. Was it easy? No. Do I stumble and fall? Absolutely. I am not in some kind of nirvana state. I doubt I ever will be. And, that's not even the purpose of this practice. The purpose of this practice is so that I can come in here and connect with creativity flowing through me so that I can create the best paintings that I am able to create today, right now, in this moment, in my little tiny studio. And to do the work that I am called to do, doing these podcasts, uploading videos, teaching others out there, connecting with all of you out there who sync with me, right? And create a community, and so that I'm on this little tiny island. I have been isolated and alone, but not unhappy, right? But as far as community goes, pretty isolated. With thank God for the internet. It has been a tool for me. So I am like, my purpose is to create these videos and to connect and build my YouTube channel. And hey, it's growing, and I am so grateful for that. I'm really, really happy. And to teach uh, painting, the foundations of painting, how anybody can begin to build their creative home, their creative state of mind. And that brings me great joy, which is up there. Um, a few years ago, many years ago, I guess it's been about 10 years, my yoga teacher, I was studying yoga at the time, and she said something that really, really really, really helped me, and I latched onto it right away because I was in a yoga class and I was in a deep emotional state, one of those lower, uh, frequencies, probably way at the bottom, and, she said, she had us practice at the end of class um, uh, to just raise our eyes up, just look up, and to feel within how, I mean, a lot of things happen, right? How that begins to uh, change your body. So immediately, if you look up, you can't be slouched over and look up. I mean, you can, but immediately you want to raise yourself up and open your heart area. Why? Right? And you become balanced and centered again. If you're standing, you can feel yourself moving back and standing balanced on your feet, your hips in line, and you just feel open and secure, connected, right? And she suggested that when we left the yoga studio, that we go outside and rather than looking down while we're walking, to raise our eyes up to at least straight ahead. This is the neutral level, and just begin to look up, slightly up. And I did that. And I was blown away by the magnitude of how that altered my emotional state of mind. Just the action, the physical action of raising my eyes up, looking up higher, brought me into a state of connectedness, of centeredness. It made the world just seem like, hey, it's really quite beautiful today. I began to notice other things like the people that were passing me, and I would connect with them. It was completely different than being in this state of mind, thinking, and watching the ground where you're going. So you're not really running into anything, you're going to fall over. And it blew me away. And from that day forward, I have been practicing that ever since. So if I wake up in the morning or if something happens throughout my day and I feel myself crumbling, I will, in fact, look up and I feel my heart opening. I will also do the fake smile thing, right? Because even if you just kind of curve your lips up a little bit, it's it's going to release the chemicals in your brain. I believe it's serotonin and dopamine, and it may be another, which I can't remember. But my purpose of doing all these things is because I want to feel better, and it works. It just worked over and over and over and over again. So what does that have to do with the emotional frequency chart, with your creativity, and how you go about your day? Well, to kind of put it all together, if you understand the emotional frequency chart, and like I said, there's a couple different versions out there. You can go on Google and search them out and look at different images. There's Abraham Hicks has a slightly different one, but it's basically all the same. And understanding how that works, you can begin to like pull out of your head when you're getting in an emotional state and kind of gauging, where am I? Where am I? Am I slipping lower? Am I on the anger level? Am I on the fear level? Am I getting down to the shame level? Where am I? And then taking note of your body and what's happening in your body, and then do that simple practice, smile, fake, just Keep it fake. You don't care if it's real or authentic. You don't care about any of that. Just actually do the physical thing of smiling and look up. Just look up and just watch how your body will kind of come back to center. It may not be complete, and depending on everybody's situation of the things that are happening in their lives, I'm not at all saying that this is for every circumstance, but generally speaking, it can be a great tool to get you back to your center, to your presence, to your now, so that you can come into your studio, your little tiny studio, whether it be the kitchen table, a little corner in the room, outside, or if you have this great space, wherever your little studio is, you're cultivating your inner studio, your inner self, so that you are able to connect with this physical space, with your paintings, with whatever creative act that you are doing. And when you are there in that space and on a neutral level and up, you have this intimate understanding and this intimate connection with that creative flow of being present and in the zone. You can let go of your perceived responsibilities of the day, of the things that you have to do, the things that didn't go well, the things that did go well. You just kind of let go of all of that and you slip into the zone. That is being present. That is a working state of meditation, of communication. That is the place where you can begin to paint. And, some of you artists know this. You get that sense, right? That the painting is talking back to you. Not literally, of course, but there is a connection. There's a voice inside of you saying, don't do this, do that. Even if you have learned or you've practiced or that this is a habit for you to do it this way, you'll get that voice saying, no, 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 try this. And then if you listen to it because you're in that state, because you have worked with yourself throughout, the days, weeks, months, however long it takes to really get a handle on this, on this space in you, on your life, then you're able to create intentionally. You're able to come into the flow intentionally. And I like that space. And I believe that we all get there when we choose to. So that's about it for today. I think I've got my thoughts out. If you have any questions, please comment below. Let me know what you think, what your experiences are, and how do you cultivate that state of creativity, that state of presence? How do you get yourselves into that creative flow to get in the zone? And, I have said this over and over, and I can't imagine that I'll stop saying it. But this practice is taking a look at me, Vida, standing vertically on the planet being the horizontal plane. So, me and the planet, my life here, my experience here, and all the things that come to me. Some of them can knock me over, some of them bring me back up, and some of them make me fall over this way. It's always a moving place. But when you are connected, when you connect this angle with that creative line, with your creativity, right? You suddenly become a triangle, and triangles are the most sturdy geometrical shape, as far as I understand. And when you can live your life connected to, yourself with your life experiences, and you can connect that with creativity, with that creative presence that's there within you or coming through you, um, you have you become very sturdy. At least I did. And people that I talk to and work with, that's what they feel as well. So, no, there's no proof. I have no proof. Just my own life experiences and working with other artists and watching how they come connected to their own creativity. And it's a beautiful process. So, maybe you guys want to try it out. Maybe you want to begin to understand how we work in this way, creating this triangle, this, connecting the hypotenuse of the triangle to your vertical self with the horizontal life experience, and your creativity being the life-saving act of pulling you all together and giving you a sense of sturdiness, of being, of knowing, of joy. And when you can do that, I mean, when that happens, this is kind of out there, so I know it's not touching everybody, but when that happens, then you come into your studio with great intentionality, with deep purpose, with understanding how you are, where you are, what's going on in your life, how that might be affecting you, and how you should work that day in your studio. Um, it has been uh, a great tool for me. So, if that's helpful to you, that would be great. If you have any questions, again, let me know. I'm happy to answer, and I love all this communication that is happening. So, have a beautiful, beautiful day, and let's let's stay connected. I'll be back on Tuesday with the next episode of Tiny Studio Big Ideas. Uh, all right. So, have a great day, everyone. Have a great week.